Sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede. What kind of power? People's power. Thank you.
I'm here today. I will not go away. I will be here tomorrow. I will be here until it gets done. This Dream and Promise Act, dream, promise, let's make it a reality. I have to say, we keep on repeating history in this country. A lot of people know that we're celebrating the 150th anniversary of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad. And half of that railroad from this side of the Pacific Ocean to Utah were built by not Americans, but by Chinese that were recruited to come to this country to work and build this country. And you know what the reward was? A few years after the completion, the United States decided, hey, we use you, we chew you up, now get the hell out of my country. We're going to exclude you from ever becoming a citizen in the United States. That was for over 50 years that happened. Do we want that again? No! Hell no! We want justice. We want people that are working, contributing to not only our economy, our family, the welfare of the city. We want you here. We need to send a message. Make this a reality. Thank you very much.
Our union is engaged in the legislative process to get DACA and TPS to get permanent residency and with a path to the citizenship. So those are so often we have people from the hotels in San Francisco, they go to Washington and they do lobby actions along with other labor organizations. There's many labor organizations working on this in Washington. But we know that the biggest dream is two things. One is general amnesty. There is 12 million people in the United States who don't have papers. We want general amnesty for Salvadorians, Mexicans, Nicaraguans, and other areas in the world. We also have the fight for respect and dignity. So the Latinos, we are the biggest minority in the United States. That has made us target of the racism of the president. They are targeting us, they dehumanize us, they call us rapers, they call us murderers, they call us drug dealers, and all this to dehumanize our families, our children, U.S. citizen children, first generation, second generation, third generation, they're being bullied in the schools now because their compañeritos, they see them as, you Mexicans go home. And they're not, they're from the United States. But this is what this president has done.
Last month, as part of the National Lawyers Guild and the Haiti Action Committee, I went on a human rights trip to Haiti. There is a human rights crisis happening in Haiti right now. That is why there is TPS. TPS started in the 1990s to protect people from environmental, civil disobedience, civil conflict. And in 2010, Haitians were brought into that program as a result of the devastating earthquake. Now, 60,000 Haitians have TPS, but when you account their families, their American-born children, you're talking about 200,000 people that they want to send back. We are completely and utterly opposed to that. We stand with all justice-loving people to say no. No to borders. No to walls. We are in a society now which goods flow freely back and forth, money flows freely back and forth. These are just things. Certainly people should be allowed to flow freely back and forth, given the situation that we're now in.
How many of these rallies I have attended ever since Trump was elected president, but it has been numerous, and it has been the same theme over and over and over again. And so today, I am just here to reiterate COVID-19, which is so overdue, but I also want to just say this, is that when we don't give these people permanent status, we are creating a permanent underclass of people. People whose lives are in limbo. People who are unable to engage fully in our society for all of our services because they are fearful. These people need a way to permanent status here in our country. They have lived here, many of them, for decades. I stand before you as a granddaughter of someone who came here on illegal papers because our immigration policies have a long, long history of being racist.
And I'm pretty sure that, no need to say that these are human beings. We're not talking here about chips on a casino table. We're talking about human lives. And it's a very serious matter. Now the question which comes is, how long does it take a human being living in a given society to become a recognized member of that society? Yeah. How much does a human being need to do in order to be accepted as a contributing member of that society? This is what it's all about. But I would like to call out to everybody and they say, TPS, DACA, DD have no color. We're all human beings from all kinds of races, from all continents, and with the same dream, being members of the American society. This is what it's all about. We may not, all of us, have, a relative who is the president of the Republic or the president of the United States to get our documents within a few days. Yet, we in America, we are your neighbors, we are your co-workers, we are your friends, and we are your relatives. And this is what it is all about. DED. Our brothers and sisters from Liberia have been in the United States since 1991. And yet, every year they live in fear because they've been asking them to go back home after a bloody civil war where most of them lost all their family members. What do you want them to go back to? Their life is here. America is home. We're not going anywhere. And again, temporary? Yeah, let's move from temporary to permanent. Permanent residency? Yeah, let's move from permanent residency to naturalization. This is all it's about. No more temporary status in the United States. And let's not forget that, the end of the battle is all these millions of so-called undocumented immigrants. Their life is in America. They're not going anywhere. And I would like to call out to our community members, let's not give up on ourselves. We're not alone.
Sanctuary for all. No ban, no wall. Sanctuary for all. No ban, no wall. Sanctuary for all. Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Tariq Salman. I am with the Arab Resource and Organizing Center, Iraq. I was born and raised in Syria, came to the US in 2010. And I have not been back or seen my family or friends since then, almost 10 years. And why? Why is that? Why I have not seen my family? Why is millions of other people who look like me have not seen their families as well? It's because the US government was complicit in creating the conditions that forced us to leave our homelands. No one wants to leave their homelands. We all want to stay in our homelands with our families, with our friends, where we have roots. Why can't I, or the millions of people like me, rejoin with their families? Aggressively racist policies that are attacking our communities, policies that bomb us, then ban us, policies that are ripping our children away, policies that would rather prioritize border security, imprisonment, criminalization over housing, education, or basic living wage. As Arabs and Muslims, we understand that these attacks don't come from just one administration. We understand that no matter who is sitting in the White House, the xenophobic, racist, sexist, and Islamophobic policies are going to keep on attacking our communities and families. As Arabs and Muslims, we stand with all impacted communities. We stand up for our sisters and brothers who are fighting to stay with their families or bring them here. No one belongs away from their families, and no one belongs in cages and prisons, especially children.
Dream and Promise Act. This is about? Dream and Promise Act. What is it about? Dream and Promise Act. This is about? What is this about?
Estamos aquí para apoyar a nuestra comunidad. Our office, District 10, we stand behind all of our young undocumented immigrants that were promised a chance to stay here in this country and receive a pathway to citizenship. We should not allow our country to go back on a word and a promise. These people have worked hard. Esos niños han trabajado bien duro. Y son los sueños de los padres y de los pasados. These children are the dream of their families and their grandparents and generations of people who dreamed before them.
This is not just a social justice issue, not just an issue around individual immigrants. This is a worker issue. This is a working class issue. It's a union issue. It's an organized labor issue because so many of our sisters and brothers and siblings in the labor movement are immigrants. And that is why the AFL-CIO is strongly in support of the passage of H.R. 6. We want to see permanent residence status for all of our sisters and brothers. That's right. So it's estimated that passage of this initiative will help 9 million immigrants across the country. 3 million of them are here in California. We know them. We're here. You're here. And so it continues to be of utmost urgency to get this passed.
For us to get amnesty for every single worker that doesn't have papers in the United States, for us to get respect and dignity, we're going to have to do what the African Americans did in the 60s. We're going to have to jam the jails in a disciplined way, in a consistent way, in an organized way. We have to start blocking the street and just getting our bodies into jail, and primarily by Latinos citizens and their allies. And this is how we're going to get the attention of the people in power, because we have to continue voting, we have to continue fighting legislatively, but we have to start thinking in getting to the street, reaching out to the sisters and brothers, African Americans, and being humble enough and ask them how do they did it, and learn from them, because this is about civil rights. They opened the door. Now what they got, and they fought for us. Now we need to maintain and expand that.